Sergeant Miles had seen many things during the war, but never this. The silver body lay motionless on the metal table, small and thin, with long fingers curled at its sides. Its skin shone like wet glass under the bright lab light. Everyone thought it was dead. Then its eyelids trembled. Miles leaned closer. His gloved hand reached out just to make sure. But the moment his fingers touched its arm, the thing twitched. "Did you see that?" a young scientist gasped. The creature's mouth opened slowly, too wide for its small face, and a deep humming sound filled the room. The walls shook. The lights flickered and then burst, showering sparks. Before everything went black, Miles saw its chest rise. It was breathing. And then, silence. 3 days before the strange night at the base, Roswell was calm and quiet. A dry wind rolled through the desert, carrying the smell of dust and hay. 11-year-old Tommy Rhodes sat by his bedroom window, staring at the sky like he always did. He loved watching the stars. They were his friends, faraway lights that never went out. But tonight, one of them was moving. At first, he thought it was a shooting star. Then it changed color, from white to green, then blue, then red. It zigzagged, faster than any plane Tommy had ever seen. Suddenly, it exploded in a flash so bright that the whole sky turned silver. A loud boom shook the windows. The dogs began to bark. And out in the distance, beyond the dark hills, something was burning. Tommy's heart pounded. Something had fallen from the sky. "Dad!" Tommy shouted, running down the hall. "Something crashed outside!" His father, Hank Rhodes, came out of the kitchen, wiping his hands on a towel. "Probably just a plane, son," he said. But he looked worried. Together they grabbed a flashlight and jumped into the old red truck. The engine growled to life. As they drove toward the desert, Tommy noticed a strange smell. Sharp, like burning metal mixed with rain. The sky glowed faintly green in the distance. They bounced over rocks and sand until the light grew brighter. "Dad, look," Tommy whispered. Ahead of them, the earth was black and steaming. A round crater stretched across the desert floor, and in the middle of it was a pile of shining wreckage, twisted metal, wires, and something that shimmered like glass. It didn't look like any airplane. The wind blew hot and dry as they stepped out of the truck. The ground was scorched, and the air buzzed faintly, like electricity. Hank moved closer, his flashlight beams sweeping across strange pieces of metal. The fragments were smooth, too smooth, and when he tapped one, it didn't sound like metal at all. It sounded hollow, like bone. "Dad," Tommy whispered, pointing. "Over there." Beside a large piece of wreckage lay a shape, small, still, and half covered in sand. Hank slowly approached and knelt beside it. At first he thought it was a child. Then he saw the gray skin, the long fingers, and the huge black eyes staring blankly at the stars. Tommy's breath caught in his throat. "What is it?" Hank didn't answer. He just whispered, "It's not from here." The silence was broken by the distant roar of engines. Headlights flashed across the sand. "Dad, someone's coming!" Within moments, army jeeps surrounded them. Soldiers in dark uniforms jumped out, shouting orders. One of them pointed a gun. "Step away from the site! Now!" Hank raised his hands. "We didn't touch anything." A tall man in a black coat walked up and covered the gray body with a silver sheet. "You saw nothing," he said coldly. "This is a restricted military zone." Tommy tried to peek under the sheet, but a soldier blocked him. "What is that thing?" Tommy demanded. The soldier glared down at him. "It's just a weather balloon, kid. Forget it." As they were escorted back to their truck, Tommy looked over his shoulder one last time and saw one of the soldiers secretly taking photos. The next morning, Roswell was buzzing with talk. People said something big had fallen from the sky. Others said it was just a test balloon. The radio confirmed the official story. A weather balloon has crashed near Roswell. Nothing to worry about. Tommy sat at the table, staring at his breakfast. "It wasn't a balloon, Dad," he muttered. Hank looked tired. "I know, son, but we can't talk about it. Those soldiers mean business." Tommy clenched his fists. He couldn't stop thinking about that face, the sad gray one in the sand. That night, as he lay in bed, he thought he heard something outside. A soft humming sound. The same sound the body made before the lights went out in the lab, though Tommy didn't know that yet. The sound came from the direction of the desert. Tommy sat up, his heart thudding. He went to his window and listened. The noise was faint, but steady. A deep hum, like something alive. He wanted to wake his father, but something inside told him not to. Instead, he put on his shoes and slipped outside quietly. The night was cold. The moon painted everything silver. He could see the faint trail of tire marks from the army trucks. Beyond that, in the distance, a single light blinked. Once, twice, like a signal. Tommy started walking. When Tommy reached the edge of the burned crater, he saw the wreckage was gone. The army had taken everything. Everything except one thing. Footprints. Small ones. Not from boots or shoes, bare, with long, thin toes. They led away from the crash site and into the hills. Tommy crouched, touching the prints. The sand was still warm. Whatever made them wasn't far. He followed the trail until he heard it again. The hum. It was louder now, almost inside his head. Then he saw movement between the rocks. Something small and gray slipped behind a boulder, leaving a faint shimmer in the air. Tommy froze. "Hello?" he whispered. No answer. Only the wind. Tommy climbed over the rocks and found a narrow opening, a cave. Inside, the air smelled like smoke and rain. He shone his flashlight and gasped. Symbols were scratched onto the walls, glowing faintly, like stars, and in the corner, something was crouched. It was the same size as the body from the crash, but this one was alive. Its big black eyes reflected the light, and its thin chest rose and fell slowly. When it saw Tommy, it didn't move. It just tilted its head, curious, almost afraid. Tommy stepped closer. "You're hurt," he whispered. The creature blinked once. Then, in his mind, Tommy heard a voice, soft, trembling, not from Earth. "Help me!" Tommy stumbled back, his heart racing. The creature was talking inside his head. He didn't know what to do. Should he run? Should he help it? It reached out a trembling hand. Its skin shimmered faintly in the flashlight beam. Then the hum began again, louder this time, echoing through the rocks. Outside, Tommy heard engines, army trucks approaching fast. They were searching. The creature's eyes widened in fear. "Hide me," it whispered again, the voice echoing inside his thoughts. Tommy turned toward the sound of the jeeps, then back at the frightened alien. He made his choice. He pulled off his jacket and covered the creature. "Stay quiet," he said. "I won't let them take you." Outside, a soldier shouted, "Search the area! No one leaves this desert!" The cave went silent. The humming stopped. Tommy's heart pounded as the jeep engines grew louder outside. He pressed the alien deeper into the shadows of the cave and whispered, "Stay still." Dust fell from the ceiling as soldiers' boots crunched nearby. Flashlights swept across the rocks, cutting through the darkness like white blades. "Search every inch," a voice barked. Tommy held his breath. The alien's black eyes stared at him, wide, frightened. Then the hum returned, faint but steady. The soldiers froze. "What was that sound?" one whispered. Tommy closed his eyes and prayed they wouldn't find him. A rock tumbled outside, breaking the silence. "Over there!" a soldier shouted. The troops rushed toward the noise, but it wasn't from Tommy's cave. It came from the next ridge. The alien turned its head toward Tommy, its eyes glowing faintly blue. "They hunt. Me," the voice whispered inside Tommy's mind. "Why?" he whispered back. The alien blinked slowly. "They fear truth." Outside, the soldiers' voices faded into the distance. Tommy finally exhaled. He looked down and saw a strange mark glowing faintly on the alien's arm. The mark pulsed like a heartbeat, showing strange swirling patterns. Tommy reached out, curious, but the alien flinched. "Pain," it whispered. "They cut us." Tommy frowned. "Who did?" "Men in black coats, after the fall." Tommy remembered the tall man from the crash site, the one who ordered the cover-up. "Did they hurt you?" he asked softly. The alien's dark eyes filled with faint light. They took my kin. Tommy swallowed hard. There had been more than one. The alien trembled. Its glow flickered like a candle about to die. They will burn this place, it said. No one must see. Tommy didn't understand. Why would they burn it? To hide. What they fear. Suddenly the humming deepened, a strange vibration that shook the rocks. Outside, Tommy heard distant thunder, but the sky was clear. The alien's eyes darkened. They come with fire. Tommy grabbed his flashlight and peeked outside. In the distance, orange lights glowed. Not headlights. Flames. Come on, Tommy whispered. We have to move! The alien tried to stand but stumbled. Its legs were weak. Tommy wrapped his arm around it, helping it walk. Behind them, explosions echoed. Flames rolled over the hills, devouring dry bushes. Tommy led the alien down a narrow canyon, the sky glowing red above them. He looked back once. The cave where they hid was now burning. You saved me, the alien said weakly. Tommy shook his head. We're not safe yet. Military trucks rumbled in the distance. Searchlights cut across the desert like lightning. Tommy ducked behind a boulder, pulling the alien down with him. The creature's breathing was slow and strange, like the hum of a machine. They track with sound, it whispered. Tommy pressed his hand over the alien's mouth, even though it had no lips. The humming stopped. The searchlight swept past and moved on. For a moment, the desert was silent again. They rested behind a dune. The alien touched Tommy's forehead with one long finger. A flash. Images flooded Tommy's mind. Stars, strange symbols, cities floating in darkness. He gasped and fell back. You see now? The alien's voice echoed softly. We came to warn your world. Warn us about what? Tommy asked, trembling. A storm, coming from the sky. But your leaders silenced us. Tommy realized. They weren't invaders. They were messengers. A gunshot rang out, echoing across the desert. The alien fell, blue light flickering weakly under its skin. Stop! Tommy shouted, shielding it with his body. The man in the black coat stepped forward, pistol aimed. Step aside, boy. The alien touched Tommy's shoulder, whispering inside his mind. No more fear. A blinding blue light burst from its body, washing over everything. The soldiers staggered back, radios hissing, dust swirling. Then silence. When the light faded, the alien was gone. Only a small, glowing sphere lay in Tommy's hand. He looked up at the stars and whispered, You're free now.